You ever have a morning where you just know deep in your bones that today's the day somebody finally gets what's coming to them? Well, I had one of those mornings not long ago, and let me tell you, it all started with a little thing called physics and a woman who thought rules only applied to everyone else but her. Yeah, I'm talking about Karen, the queen of Pine Valley's HOA, the kind of neighbor who'd rather drive through your gate than around it, then send you the bill for her inconvenience. You think I'm exaggerating, buddy. You have no idea. See, every time Karen rammed her shiny white Mercedes through my cedar gate, she'd just cruise away like she'd left a coupon on my windshield instead of splinters in my driveway. She kept slapping me with bogus HOA violations, trying to bleed me dry until I'd choose to move out. Joke's on her, I'm just a blue-collar contractor who built half the homes here back when this place was nothing but red clay and cow tracks. I don't fold easy, and she was about to find out that you can only poke a bull so many times before you get the horns. But let me back up a sec. Name's Roy. 52, been here 15 years with my wife, Susan. Folks around here like to joke I know every building code better than the county clerk. It's probably true. My land private. No public easement. No sneaky HOA loopholes. No right-of-way for anyone but the folks I say so. But Karen, she never saw a no trespassing sign she couldn't ignore. The first time she hit my gate, I'm standing there hands full of busted cedar, muttering words my mama would have scrubbed out of me with soap when I hear gravel crunch behind me. Here comes Karen in her ice-white Mercedes, smile painted on like it cost extra. Hi there. We need to talk about your gate, not my destroyed property, just the gate situation. When I point out that she just bulldozed my gate, she just waves it off. Oh, that old thing was a safety hazard. Emergency access, can't block essential services. I wanted to laugh in her face. Emergency access on my private road, lady. Your authority here is about as real as my dog's driver's license. I tried to keep it civil, told her straight, no easement, no HOA rights, this is my land. She gave me a look colder than winter in Montana and says, we'll see about that. I'll file the paperwork to get this obstruction removed permanently. Then she peels out, leaving me in a cloud of attitude and Mercedes exhaust. So I do what any sane person would call the sheriff. Sheriff Brooks shows up, but he acts like I just asked him to referee a family reunion. Looks like a civil matter, Roy. Maybe you two can work it out. Work it out. Someone just grand theft autoed my front gate and I'm supposed to negotiate. Brooks wouldn't even look me in the eye. He just shuffled off, muttering about being short-staffed. That's when Mike, my neighbor, ambles over. Mike's a retired vet, a good man who knows everybody's business and somehow manages not to be nosy about it. Karen, again, he says like it's Tuesday. Turns out this wasn't Karen's first rodeo. She'd been testing boundaries all over the neighborhood, running her own little intimidation campaign for some big development deal she had brewing. Mike hints that Brooks is compromised family ties, you know the type. Sheriff married Karen's sister last year. Suddenly the whole civil matter thing makes a lot more sense. Mike gives me some advice. Roy, get a security camera. This isn't over. He was right. Next morning I catch the building inspector sniffing around my yard, clipboard in hand. Anonymous complaint, he says. Yeah, right. My paperwork isn't good enough anymore. 30 days to get new copies from the county or face an $800 fine. The clerk at the county office all but rolls her eyes. 4 to 6 weeks, she says, plus $200 processing. Karen was setting me up to fail just like she'd done to the Harrises and the Johnsons families she'd driven out with endless paperwork and whispers only to snatch up their homes for below market and flip them for a tidy commission. That night, I decide I'm done playing defense. I start my own file, every violation, every phone call, every fake review. Karen might be running a script, but I'm about to flip the page. Then right on cue, Mike drops off a little digital recorder accidentally left running during an HOA meeting, he claims. But you and I both know Mike's accidents are never really accidents. On the tape, Karen coaching another neighbor how to lie, stick to the script. Say you feel unsafe, don't mention the development project. Hearing it in her own words was like striking oil. This wasn't paranoia, this was a playbook. Not 2 days later, a special HOA meeting gets called. Karen's got the whole room stacked with blown-up photos of my yard tools, lumber, a trash bag, as if living on your own land is suddenly a crime. Neighbors I'd helped for years now looking at me like I was the local menace. But not everyone was buying it, arms crossed, eyes darting. When it's my turn to talk, I lay it out. 15 years built, half your homes, carried your groceries, fixed your fences. Does that sound dangerous or just like someone being railroaded? Karen just smiles and moves on. Then she hits where it really hurts my business. Fake one-star reviews, pile up online clients, start canceling contracts. Neighbors whisper concerns. I lose down $500 in a day, and the pressure keeps mounting. My wife Susan, tough as nails, but with a heart way bigger than mine, finds me. At the kitchen table says, "This isn't about the gate anymore, Roy. She's trying to ruin us." I tell her, then we fight like builders. Document everything. Reinforce. Prepare. She wants to build a case. I'll build one stronger. But Karen's got more tricks: insurance complaints, state licensing investigations, even calls to my mortgage company. We're bleeding from every angle. Then she targets Susan directly, whispers about instability clients drop her bookkeeping business. That's when the anger in me goes cold. Not wild, not hot, just steel. If Karen wanted a war, she'd get one. I drew up plans for a new gate rebar concrete cedar cladding so it looked innocent as pie, but could stop a truck. I built it with my own hands under halogen lamps at night, every swing of the hammer a silent vow. You don't touch my family. The day of reckoning came with Karen's so-called victory parade, her Tom Davidson, the developer, a news van, even the sheriff, all lining up like it's the Macy's parade of delusions. Karen's ready for her moment, so sure of herself that she floors her Mercedes straight at my new gate. But physics doesn't negotiate. 25 meets 3 feet of steel-reinforced concrete, and the Mercedes folds like a soda can. The whole block hears the bang. Karen stumbles out, airbag dust everywhere, staring at my gate like it's a UFO. The cameras catch it all, her Tom melting down over his lost deal, the sheriff wishing he'd called in sick. Neighbors flood the street, Mike's got the grin of the year. And just when I think it can't get any wilder, a young man in a suit walks up, introduces himself as David, Karen's nephew. He's a property rights lawyer, and he's been quietly helping victims build a case against Aunt Karen for years. Turns out David's been the anonymous whistleblower feeding me all the evidence I needed. Karen had ruined his life years ago. Now it was payback. That night at an emergency HOA meeting, David lays out the whole pattern: emails, commissions, all the families Karen bullied out, and all the cash she pocketed. Sheriff Brooks looks relieved to hand it off to the state police, who don't give a damn about family dinners. Karen gets arrested right there for conspiracy and harassment. The HOA strips her of power. Her real estate license gets revoked. Her bank account gets bled dry, paying restitution. Tom Davidson's project dies on the spot. The gate that cost me so much stands undamaged, bronze plaque and all. Pine Valley finally gets its piece. Susan's clients come back. Neighbors start sharing garden tools instead of rumors, and David helps dozens of other families fight back in court. Sometimes the best revenge isn't blowing up in anger. It's laying out your case, standing your ground, and letting physics and paperwork do the talking. Funny how a gate can change everything. So tell me, when was the last time you saw karma land a punch that perfect? Drop your story or your thoughts on justice down below, because I know I'm not the only one who's been bulldozed by a bully and stood up anyway. And if you ever need tips on building a gate that really lasts well, you know where to find me.